Hello and thanks for clicking. I'm Mark Morse. This is kind of an obligatory post. As a Beatles fan, I feel I need to talk about the Beatles Anthology 4. Just received this recently. I pre-ordered it. Very excited to have it. I'm going to talk about this briefly. There are so many channels out there that have already spoke about this, the pros and cons and track by track. That's not what this video is going to be. I'm just a fan of the Beatles, and I want to talk about what I like about this record. I'm glad to have it. You might remember, I'm sure you do, if you're watching this video, you might remember the controversy. This originally you couldn't get Anthology 4 unless you ordered the entire anthology set 1, 2, 3, and 4. For those of us that already had anthologies 1 through 3, it felt like, you know, we didn't really want to get those remixes for 1, 2, and 3. We don't listen to them that much anyway. We just wanted the new record. And they finally let us just order Anthology 4. There's not going to be any surprises here. I'm going to just let you know right off, I do like this record. There's been a lot said about it, and they're all valid. Some of the things people have said is 23 of these tracks have been released before on other things like the deluxe box sets for the White Album, Abbey Road, Revolver, etc. And there's only, I think, 13 things on here that we haven't heard before. So it's a lot of stuff we've heard before. That's one of the things they say. It doesn't bother me that much. And the reason being is I just like to be reminded of these takes. I don't listen to those box sets. You know, when I first get them, I listen to them a lot, and I go through the records and I play them all. But then I usually just go back to the remastered or remixed record and play that record to listen to. I don't usually go back and listen to the outtakes and stuff. So if I hear it new again on here, it doesn't bother me that much. Sure, it would be nice to have a lot more new stuff I've never heard before. But with my memory, this is kind of a confession. I listen to the Beatles channel on Sirius XM a lot. And every now and again, they'll play something and I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard this before. What's this? And then at the end they'll say, and that's the version off Anthology 2. And I'm like, oh, I own that version. So if I hear these things again, it's fine. I am going to go through this fairly quickly. I'm just going to hit some highlights. I do have a list I got from Reddit. They highlighted the stuff that's already been released before because, you know, my memory's not that good anyway. So I'm just going to go through some of the highlights. Please remember that I love all the Beatles from Please Please Me to Abbey Road. I just love the Beatles. But I tend to like the Beatles more from Rubber Soul on. That's kind of where I started listening to them, Nowhere Man and that kind of stuff. So I tend to like this album more as it goes on. The discs are chronological. It's different than the other anthologies. You know, Anthology 1 was early Beatles, Anthology 2, you know, those mid-Beatles, and then Anthology 3, later Beatles. This goes the whole gamut from early Beatles to the end. So I tend to like this more as it goes on. So let me get into this. It starts off with I Saw Her Standing There, track 2. These early ones, I'm not super excited about, but I am glad to have it. I have no complaints. Money, that's what I want. Undubbed, it's the cover songs. That's another complaint I've heard people say. It's like, some of the new stuff that's on here is just cover songs that aren't as interesting to the Beatles' development as we would like. And again, absolutely true. I do not mind hearing this stuff, but again, I'm more interested as this goes on. I like the I've Just Seen a Face on here, take 3, which was unreleased before in my life. And then it really gets interesting to me about Around Nowhere Man. It starts off with the vocal part, but most of the song is just the instrumentation, and it's just kind of gorgeous to listen to it that way. I'm usually a lyric person. I want my songs to have lyrics, but when you know the song so well, sometimes it's nice to hear it stripped back. It kind of gives it more dimension, at least for me. There's a lot of songs on here that have been released before. Strawberry Fields Forever being one of my favorite ones on here, and She's Leaving Home, it's the instrumental. That's I think that was on the Sgt. Pepper box set. Baby You're a Rich Man, takes 11 and 12. I love this. You have the banter between the Beatles. That's kind of the thing I like about these. I like the kind of the behind the scenes stuff you get. My friend Andy said he listened to this, and when he described it to me, he said it's like they flub up a lot and then just give each other shit. And to me, that's part of the charm of these albums. I just kind of like that behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if I would like this with any other band, but because the Beatles were so big for me and so to so many of us, it's just interesting. All You Need Is Love, it's the rehearsal for the BBC broadcast. That's interesting. The Fool on the Hill, instrumental, interesting. I'm the Walrus, take 19, strings, brass, clarinet, overdub. Again, it's cool to hear this all stripped down. Hey Bulldog, take 4, instrumental. That's kind of a weird one to hear just without the words, but it's fun to listen to, and believe me, you'll be tempted to sing along with it. A lot of stuff after this has been released on other albums. Good Night, take 10, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Helter Skelter, second version, take 17 is on here. I love a Helter Skelter. I would like to hear, they say there's a 27-minute version, a slow version. I would buy a record if they just had that version on one side and then something interesting on the second side. I would buy that record. I don't think everybody feels that way, though. I Will. Can You Take Me Back? That's the little thing you hear on the White Album. Can you take me back where I came from? That's already been released before, but it's kind of here to hear it elongated. Julia, Get Back, Octopus's Garden. Really, there's nothing new until the very last side of the record, and that's the 3 songs that were produced after the demise of the Beatles: Free as a Bird, Real Love, and Now and Then. So we've heard those all before, but Free as a Bird and Real Love, those are 2025 mixes. So with the new technology where they're really able to pull out John's voice, I think everybody who hears it the first time it's kind of startling, because it is it's very clear and it's crisp. I really like it. I like the kind of older, almost I like the just the kind of older, you know, Tom Waits had that saying. He says, I like my music 2 blocks away playing on a broken phonograph or something. I kind of like the feel of those earlier versions where John Lennon's voice is almost ghostly on there. That's very crystal clear on here though, and I love both versions. Glad to have them both. So what I'm going to say about this album and what I'm going to leave you with, if you're a fan like me and you just I wouldn't call myself a completist. I'm pretty damn close to one, but I'm not a completist. For example, I don't have Let It Be Naked on vinyl yet. I do have it on CD, but not on vinyl. You can ask Brian from Embryonic Robot what it's like to have a vinyl copy of that. But I just like these albums. This is one I will probably actually play every now and again. The other anthologies, when I got them, I played them a lot, but afterwards, I just didn't play them very often unless I was looking for a specific version of a song. But this actually plays through fairly well, and it's interesting. The whole thing is interesting. It gets more interesting for me, but as it goes on. But I think it's a good purchase. I'm glad I have it. I have no use for the first 3, 1, 2, and 3 that I already have. I don't need the remixes of those. I hardly listen to them anyway. I do like to have them though, and it's really a well-produced album, even though 23 of the tracks have been re-released. So I hope that was of some use to you, at least some entertainment value there. But I'm going to end this video. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, and I got to hang out with my daughter, my new granddaughter, my son-in-law. And then later on, I went over to my niece's, Lily's house, and hung out with her and her mom and her brother. And it was just a fun time. And I'm going to end this video with just some scenes from my Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience. I just like the Beatles. I like this album. See you next time.